Next on Worcester News Tonight, summer baseball is back in Worcester. We'll take you to the Bravehearts open practice today in the city. Plus, a memorial honoring a fallen police officer. We'll hear from his family. Joining us tonight, I'm Catherine Andrioli. It finally felt like spring again this week after a long stretch of rain, and now baseball is back in Worcester. Today, the Worcester Bravehearts held their first open practice at Hanover Insurance Park in Worcester. It was a perfect day for it, as you can see, and it's the first of many practices for the Summer League team. Fans also got in on the action, many of them spending the afternoon watching the open practice and enjoying the sun. Fans we spoke with say they're thrilled to have summer baseball back in Worcester.
It's awesome. We've been waiting for the sun to come out and this weather to break. I've been working here all week getting the stadium ready, the seats all nice and clean for the fans to come in. So that's why I'm here today.
It's great. It's local. You don't have to go all the way into Boston if you don't want to. You can get entertained right here with your baseball fix.
The Bravehearts open the season tomorrow at home against the Bristol Blues. First pitch is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. You can watch that right here on Charter TV3. We're hearing from the family of fallen Auburn police officer Ronald Tarentino Jr. about a new memorial being built in town. One of the officer's sons is helping build the memorial square in honor of his dad. He says this is just another way for the community to remember his father. Olivia Lemon has the story.
A new memorial square sits directly across from the site where Auburn police officer Ronald Tarentino Jr. was shot and killed.
It kind of symbolizes, like, overlooking, the streets.
Thursday, his son Spencer and Auburn police officers worked on the square, adding some final touches.
We have a few surprises in store that nobody knows about, but everybody will be able to see those once it's all done.
Spencer says while working on the memorial, people driving by have stopped to recognize his father's service. He says most of the supplies were donated and the community's support has been essential in his family's recovery.
It kind of keeps it present in your mind that people are still thinking about you and people are willing to do that much for you.
The 19-year-old is also celebrating his birthday today and says spending time with his dad's colleagues has been great.
It's a lot of fun to be able to work with them. They're all great guys, and I enjoy being with them all.
Tarentino says he hopes this new memorial will act as a reminder to the community about the work his father and other police officers do on a daily basis.
Hopefully a good, a positive reminder rather than a negative thing. I mean, I know it is negative, but you got to try to keep the positive outlook on it rather than try to think on it in a negative way.
He says the memorial should be finished soon and he's looking forward to seeing the final product.
It's kind of like the icing on the cake for our family,
Olivia Lemon, Worcester News Tonight.
An unusual scene on Shrewsbury Street in Worcester Thursday afternoon as two mounted policemen tried it down the road. But with the coming months, you could be seeing this more often. Officers are now in the process of training horses and should be officially patrolling by the end of the month. 7 officers will form Worcester's first mounted police unit since the 1940s. Chief Stephen Sargent has said in the past the mounted officers added visibility for police patrols and they are good for crowd control during large events. A public school in Worcester is adding a resource for students after noticing many of them were going absent because they didn't have clean clothes. Our Rosalind Flaherty has the story.
Sullivan Middle School Principal Josephine Robertson noticed some of her students were coming to school with a need for extra clothing.
We started off with having a closet, a closed closet where kids could go and if they needed something to change, they could change.
Then she says those clothes needed to be washed, and new laundry is not the easiest and cheapest thing to access. She collected money from different fundraisers and bought a washer and dryer for the school.
We identify them on a one-to-one basis. It's a very discreet kind of service, and we offer the service to the students.
Evilise Macaruso is the wraparound coordinator for Sullivan. She says some students were missing school because their clothes were not clean. She identifies students who need the services and says the machines are a big help.
It's important for people to know that just providing access to things like that makes such a big difference in the life of our students.
Superintendent Maureen Benenda says the school has a high population of low-income students and the administration has an obligation to help their students succeed.
We're building our future leaders. And so, and also by doing this, also, we've seen with all the other initiatives that we've done that students really gain an appreciation and respect.
Robertson says it's nice to see the students receiving these services give back to the community. One of the students they have been supporting came in and gave a gift to the school.
That's empowerment, because she doesn't feel as if she is, she's a victim of the system, but rather she's an important part of it, and she too can contribute.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
Federal, state, and local officials were in the city today for the city's groundbreaking of the city's newest park. The Blackstone Gateway Park will be the 61st public park in the city and will have nearly 1/2 mile of walking paths and boardwalks. The $4 million project will also include bridges that run over the Middle River and historical kiosks for walkers. Located at the gateway to Route 146, the park aims to highlight the impact Quinsigamond Valley has on the city.
To combine the beautiful kind of nature that we have in the middle of a busy city, as well as the history and the the untold story of Worcester's role in the Industrial Revolution.
And this district, and especially this Quinsigamond Village side of the district, has seen an awful lot, and will continue to see an awful lot of great growth and positive growth.
Construction of the Blackstone Gateway Park is expected to be finished by May of 2018. Now to Hudson, crews responding to a hazmat situation this afternoon on Central Street. Eli Rosenberg has the latest from the scene.
Just talked to the fire chief here, and he says they are trying to figure out right now what made 2 firefighters sick. Let's give you a look behind me. You can see where Hazmat has showed up here, as within the last few minutes, the Mass State Police bomb squad and other assets as well. Talking to the fire chief, he tells me this all started out when they got a call here, a general alarm call on the 3rd floor of this big apartment building. When 2 firefighters got off the elevator there, the fire chief tells me they were overcome with this strong sense of a chemical odor. They were able to get down the elevator and back outside. They are currently at a hospital being evaluated. Now, he says, the plan going into this afternoon, well, they're going to let Hazmat go up on the 3rd floor and determine what that odor is. He says right now no one else is going to go up there until they determine what it is. Now, as these firefighters and Hazmat do their work, everyone who lives in this big apartment building outside, the fire chief telling me he is trying to figure out a place to take them so they can get out from under the sun until Hazmat can get up there and determine what made those firefighters sick. He tells me those firefighters expected to be okay. Reporting in Hudson, Eli Rosenberg, NECN.
A warm start to the month had many outside taking in the sunshine, some of them even putting their boats in the water today after a rainy Memorial Day weekend. It was a perfect day on Lake Quinsigamond. As you can see, several people putting their boats in the water and enjoying warm temps with an afternoon of boating. If you didn't get a chance to head outside today, there is more good weather in store. We'll have that complete forecast for you coming up later on in the show. A Worcester-based food retailer won first place in a national competition. Table Talk Pies won the blue ribbon in the handheld in the 8-inch pie category in the National Pie Championship. The 2 first-place pies are the pecan and salted caramel apple. President Harry Calkins says this is the first year they entered the competition, and they're proud to bring home 2 blue ribbons to Worcester.
We were so excited to get that. It's the first year we've entered this contest, and to be rewarded with 2 blue ribbons, it was it was fantastic. I'm very grateful to my dad, who was passed away a couple years ago, but it really helped the company, as well as my grandfather, his partner, who started the company back in 1924, and I'm so fortunate to be able to try to carry on the traditions that they started and that my dad carried on.
And Kokinas says he is excited to come up with new ideas and enter the competition.